Hello, good afternoon. This is Robert Perkins, the immigration professor. Today we're going to talk a little bit about removal proceedings, which are also called deportation proceedings at this point. I want to also let you know that my video for today will be posted on my website, which is www.immigration-professor.com. And I have offices both in Chicago, Aurora, Illinois, and Los Angeles, California, where we try to educate and empower our clients on different immigration issues. So we're going to talk about removal proceedings today, and my sort of punchline for today is don't stress about them. They take a long time to do, and there's many misconceptions about them. So let's just say, for example, somebody's here illegally in this country. Let's say they entered illegally, they've been here for 10 or 15 years, they've started their family, and then all of a sudden they get pulled over by a police officer, and the police officer then reports them to immigration because they're here illegally. A lot of people think, oh my God, I'm in deportation proceedings, again now called removal proceedings, and someone's going to come overnight and take me and deport me. Nothing could be further from the truth about that. We have a whole process in this country for actually deporting people, and it could take some years for this to happen. Not only do we have a process, but people actually have defenses to being deported. And sometimes those defenses could actually result in the client getting a green card. So what I want to do is kind of go over the process and how it works procedurally. And then I'll take everybody's questions on it, and we can go from there. But pretty much what happens is when someone is put into deportation, they first go in front of an immigration judge. I'm going to put IJ here for immigration judge. And our court system in the U.S., our immigration court system, is actually quite busy in most major cities. It varies from city to city a bit, but once they're in front of an immigration judge, they actually have the right to present their case as to why they should stay. And some people will have a case and some people won't. If they've been here a while or they have relatives that are citizens or green card holders, they may have a case. They have to consult with an attorney. What ends up happening a lot is, at least with myself and I know my colleagues, we end up having clients that they think if they go to court that somebody's going to actually physically deport them from the country, and that cannot happen legally. The court system is kind of a protected sanctuary where clients are not removed or deported or anything else. And in fact, the worst thing that a client could do is not show up to the immigration judge. If they don't show up, they can get what's called an in absentia removal order, which is that they can be ordered removed by the judge for just not showing up. And then if somebody like a police officer finds them, then they actually could be physically deported. So the worst thing that somebody could actually do is to be so afraid to show up that they don't show up. If they show up, absolutely nothing is going to happen to that person. What will happen is that the immigration judge and the courts are going to present them with a document that's called a Notice to Appear, or NTA. And it says, we think you're here illegally, or we think that you may have committed a crime or something that subjects you to being removed or deported. You then have the opportunity to say, no, I haven't, yes, I have, and to contest this. And there's a lot of defenses, again, that someone might raise to being removed or deported. There's actually some more creative defenses that people have been coming up with these days, such as, I was the victim of racial profiling. This police agency here in this town is discriminating against Hispanics, or they're discriminating against foreigners. And this whole deportation proceeding should be terminated because it's unconstitutional. And people have had some mixed success with that one. But there are many others that people can raise. I've been here for 10 years or more, and I have kids that would suffer extreme hardship if I'm removed or deported, or a wife that is a green card that would suffer extreme hardship. Those are just a couple of possible defenses. So what happens in front of the immigration judge, again, is they then will set the case down for a hearing on the issue of whether someone should be deported. And in some cases, for example, in Chicago where we have a practice, that could take up to 2 years before the person even gets a trial. In the meantime, again, they're not going to be removed or deported. No one's going to come to their door, knocking on their door to remove them from this country while they are presenting their rights to defend themselves. Again, a lot of this information can be found on my website, which is www.immigration-professor.com. Don't forget the dash. So let's say this person waits, a year, 1 to 2 years, and they then go to trial on their case. And they've made a case. Again, not everybody will have a case. You need to consult with an attorney. We certainly hope that someone will call our offices, but you need to consult with a qualified immigration attorney somewhere. Anyway, let's say they go to trial, and let's be pessimistic. I'm an optimist by trade, I guess, but let's be pessimistic. Let's say they lose their trial. Again, they might win. They have the right to appeal the case, and it goes from the judge to the Board of Immigration Appeals in Falls Church, Virginia, near Washington, D.C. So they have the right to appeal. The appeal could take anywhere from 6 months, and I've seen them take a number of years, but let's just say to 2 years. Again, it's really varied over the years that I've practiced, which is almost 20 years. There used to be a time that these appeals were taking even 6 to 8 years, but it's more like 6 months to 2 years at this time, depending upon what the issues are. So let's be pessimistic again, because people can win appeals. It's hard, but they can win. Let's just be pessimistic for a second and say, oh, you lost your appeal. You can then appeal again. So this is sort of the second stage. If we have the first stage is the judge. Second stage is the Board of Immigration Appeals. The third stage is the U.S. Court of Appeals. So they may be able to appeal the case even higher. And that could take between 6 months to, let's say a year and a half, depending on a lot of factors. So that's the third step in the process. And let's again be pessimistic. Let's just say that the person loses at the U.S. Court of Appeals. So they could then appeal again to the U.S. Supreme Court. I should put Supreme over here. My writing's getting a bit. That would be the fourth step. So, and that might take 6 months to a year. So the bottom line with all this is that people shouldn't, there's a fallacy going on out there that if you're here illegally and you've never seen a judge before, that someone might just knock on your door or take you overnight. That just doesn't happen. It can't legally happen. They have to put you through a whole procedure. And as you can see, it could take anywhere from a year or two to even more. Again, I've got more information on my website, which is www.immigration-professor.com. And we have offices in the following cities. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing and writing over here. But we have offices in these towns currently. We hope to expand soon. But Chicago, we have 2 offices. 2 locations. We have a location here in Aurora, Illinois, and also a new location in Los Angeles, California. So if you're in any of those cities, or even if you're not, to be honest, we do represent clients all over the country. Please do give us a call. The telephone number that you can reach us is 310-384-0200, and or you can check us out on the web at immigration-professor.com. Thank you so much.